This week on BusyBee, we see which Spectrum-compatible receiver is the best. Hello and welcome to BusyBee TV. I'm your host, Lucas Weakley. And I've always wondered, is the orange receiver really as bad as people say it is? And how does it compare with a genuine Spectrum receiver? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. So if you're unfamiliar with the orange receiver, this is basically a knockoff of a Spectrum receiver by Hobby King. Now they're saying it's not a knockoff because that they're using their own hardware. They just figured out a way to receive signals coming from Spectrum transmitters. So one of the major reasons why people go to these is because of their price. Now the receiver itself without the satellite is $7 and the satellite costs $11, and comparatively a Spectrum genuine receiver costs $80 altogether. So you can really see why a lot of people would want these if they had a lot of planes, especially scratch builds. But it seems like every time I go out to my local flying field and someone walks up and sees that I'm using one of these in my airplanes, they say, "You are going to crash, your plane is going to fly away, and you're never going to see it again." And you know, for the longest time I've actually believed them, and for all my important aircraft like my tricopter and some of my bigger planes, I'm using Spectrum receivers in them. And then for some of my smaller airplanes and scratch builds and ones that fly closer to me, I'm using orange receivers. So I really want to see the differences between them and how they perform, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So the way this is going to work is very simple. It's going to be like a science experiment. So I built this, which is just a piece of foam, but it holds the antennas exactly perpendicular to each other, and one of the antennas is going to be parallel with the antenna on my transmitter. This will be mounted on my car at the highest point, and this servo will be connected and it will be constantly moving from the signal from my transmitter. Then I'll drive away until I lose signal, then I'll mark that distance, come back, plug in the satellite receiver and do it again. Then I'll switch out the receivers and run all the same tests again. When I'm done with that, just for kicks and giggles while I still have this setup, I'm going to test out my 1.3 gigahertz FPV system with circularly polarized and linear antennas. So let's get started. Test number one. This is the Spectrum genuine receiver without the satellite. There it goes. Gone. Test two. This is the genuine Spectrum receiver with a satellite. So we'll see if this goes twice as far. We're coming up at that point. And passing it with gone. That's exactly the same spot. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Test number three, this is the orange receiver with the satellite. Oh, it's gone. That is 0.4 miles. That was a major glitch. That's when I went behind that hill that it glitched a little bit on the Spectrum, so that's interesting. But it's still going, so I'll continue. I suspect it's going to die right about here. Ta-da! Okay, so we lost line of sight, and that's probably why it died. And it died. Turning around, turning around, turning around, around, round, there's clouds up there. Dun 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 dun. So exciting. Going very slow, so I'm testing it. Oh wait, I haven't explained what I'm doing. Well, because I have this all set up, might as well test my FPV system. So right now I'm using the linear antennas on my 1.3 gigahertz system. And I'm getting a lot of static while I go behind this hill. But I can still fly with that. Me wetting my pants, and it's gone. That was not very far. Already better. Not as much static. We are at it's much better. How will it do in the hill? No one knows. And there, breaking up. And pretty much gone. And is it still holding on? Gone. Nope. It's a little last blah of life. Oh, there it is. That's a clean signal. Nope, gone. And we're back, so here are the results. So you can see how the numbers are pretty much the same between the two receivers and how they're not very accurate, but that was because I was using the odometer on my car. And they didn't really have to be because they were all dropping off at pretty much the same exact point. Now this was caused by line of sight issues and me driving down a hill, but that was unavoidable because of my environment, and obviously your environment has a huge effect on how these will perform. So even with that, we got 0.8 of a mile out of these receivers, which is way too far to be able to fly line of sight. Anyways, if you want the nitty-gritty, the orange receiver did break up and glitch along the way, and the Spectrum receiver did not, but that's to be expected because it's the price difference, and the Spectrum receiver is so much more expensive. For the FPV systems, they were pretty much all crap because I had the antennas inside my car and they weren't elevated, so they didn't get very much range. And I was going by obstacles. So the linear antennas, they pretty much digressed the whole way up until the point where they didn't transmit at all anymore. And then the circularly polarized antennas, it was clear the whole way, and then it dropped off at pretty much the same point as the linear antennas. So anyways, that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. If you like my videos, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm going to be taking a break from making videos for the Christmas season to spend time with my family. And so I'll see you guys in January. Thanks for watching.